This podcast is not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed. Spoiler warning for whatever is in the title of this episode.
And now for the obligatory socials. Please like, share and subscribe. You can find the podcast on Twitter at HorrorPod69. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Slasher and Goodreads. Become part of the Disturbed community by asking for the Facebook group and Discord links. Send dick pics to the Horror of Babylon podcast at gmail.com. Support the show at patreon.com/the Horror of Babylon. In closing, you can let your friends know that The Horror of Babylon is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible and all other major podcast apps.
Daniel! Ryan! Half! The Hounds of Babylon! Welcome to episode 1, The Hounds of Babylon, the Bluey Cast. I am Ryan, with me, as always, is Daniel. Say hi, Daniel.
Ryan, you never let me have any turns.
Because you up, or you screw them up every time. And we don't have any patrons to thank because we're starting a brand new show. We've canceled our Patreon. And I've refunded the past 2 years worth of money.
Yeah, we were just like, we don't need it.
We don't need it. Just refunded it all. So if you were a Patreon of the Horror of Babylon, that show is dead now. We're now the Hounds of Babylon, the Bluey Cast. So that's cool. Trigger warning. If you're triggered by parents who are better parents than you, I don't recommend watching Bluey. Daniel, what's your history with Bluey?
I started noticing a bunch of adults making memes about Bluey. And I was like, is this like the next Brony thing? And then I started watching some Bluey. And I was like, I don't want to watch horror anymore. I want to watch Bluey.
Yeah, and we've both just decided that the art form formerly known as horror media is more or less dead, or at least it's dying and it's corrupted, and we don't want to do a horror podcast anymore. So we're gonna do a Bluey, not necessarily like a rewatch podcast because Daniel hasn't seen every episode, but it's a Bluey podcast where we're gonna go one episode at a time and just kind of react to every episode. And that's going to be it now. My history with Bluey, I was actually at a doctor's appointment with my son, and they had a Disney Junior on. And it was an episode where Bandit, who's the dad, has to take Bluey to the park every morning. And he's forced to interact with another dad through the kids.
Oh, no.
And it's just... It's like he's sitting there playing on his phone like every adult, and like, come play tea with whatever and their dad, and he has to sit there at a tiny little table and play tea with this guy he doesn't know, and it's just like, oh my god, that's my worst nightmare. And I was like, Drake, can we watch more of this show? And he's like, no, I don't like it. And it was a while before everybody else in my house started watching it, but I was the one who was like, this show's kind of funny. Let's watch this show.
For real life. For real life.
Now we're going on to our section, For Real Life, which is where we talk about the real life stuff. Essentially what would have been background back in the old days of the Horror of Babylon, which is gone now.
It's dead now.
It's dead now.
Bury it.
This is Season 1, Episode 1, The Magic Xylophone. It was Blues created, and this episode was written and directed by Joe Brum. This episode first aired on October 1st, 2018 on ABC, which is the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. And it first came to the U.S. on September 9th, 2019 on Disney Junior. Joe Brum was inspired to create this series based on raising his two daughters, and he wanted to portray the importance of children participating in imaginative play. And he chose to use Australian cattle dogs for the main characters to give the show an Australian identity. Joe Brum also cites The Simpsons as one of his main career inspirations. And actually, I'm gonna play a clip here. There are lots of Simpsons references in Bluey, And I'm going to leave Daniel and I are going to watch this now, and I will link it in...
I'd like to get down now.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah. Well, we're going to move on and talk about characters. Okay, so maybe not talk about each one of them specifically, but just generally, what do you think of the healer family?
Bluey was a very selfish boy who learned an important lesson.
Bluey's a girl.
Oh, well, I couldn't tell. I assume Blue meant boy.
This is Australia. It's down under. Everything's backwards. The toilets spin the other way.
For some reason, I thought the color correspondence to the parents also matched the gender.
No. I think I thought Bluey was a boy for a while too.
Bingo existed.
Bingo's so cute. Bingo is best girl. She's
no, apparently her name is Chilli, is best girl, because that mom can get it.
yeah, she's Dog Marge.
There are certain like mob things that just kind of attract me, and she did like 5 of them.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. If I had to be with a cartoon dog mom, hands down, it's Chilli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bandit is best dad.
He is best dad. He makes me feel bad. I was like, I have to be a better dad, but I'm never going to be a dad that good. Makes me feel bad.
I think you get pretty close.
I don't know. Well, I do okay.
You can't compare yourself to Jesus. He's worth like 6 leprechauns. And you're like 3.5 leprechauns, and that's pretty good.
Okay, he's worth 6 Simpsons leprechauns. How many Warwick Davis leprechauns is Jesus worth?
2.
2. Okay.
Because he has range.
Yeah, that's true. Well, also, if you stand a second Warwick Davis on the head of a first Warwick Davis, I think it'd be about the same size as Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think he was that short.
It's a good conversion rate.
Yeah. Jesus would have like a lot darker skin tone than Warwick Davis would, though.
Coconuts have water in them.
Coconuts have water in them. This is our section where we talk about the best joke and the worst joke in the episode. Best joke, for me, it's either Chilli saying, "Oh, just like when we first met."
Yeah.
Or it's the Dalmatian pushing her puppy past Bandit in the yard.
Just like when we first met, because that's one of the mom things I like.
Yeah, then I'll say the other one. And worst joke, I don't know. It's hard to say a worst joke because I think, there is some pretty like highbrow humor in this show, but it's also a show for preschool age kids, so of course there's some
of it's gonna go over my head.
So we'll just say the best, unless you have a particular worst joke. Yeah.
No, not really.
Okay, cool.
I don't have to want Chilli, I'm special.
Okay.
I don't have to want Chilli, I'm special. This is the section of the show where we talk about what lessons that children can find in Bluey. So what lesson do you think there are for children in this specific episode?
It's all about taking turns, and that's important. Because if you don't take turns with people, no one will want to take turns with you.
And how does taking turns, learning to take turns as a child, how has that been applicable in your adult life?
Well, when my ex-wife wouldn't let me give her turns.
Moving on.
Magic Claw has no children. His days are free and easy.
Magic Claw has no children. His days are free and easy. This is a section where we talk about what lessons parents can take away from Bluey. So what lesson should parents learn from this specific episode?
Play with your kids, because it looked amazing.
Yeah.
Ambush them when they don't take turns. And teach them the lesson.
And let them believe in magic. Like, let them make a rule and then follow it within reason.
Yeah.
I mean, don't let them freeze you in the middle of the road and get hit by a car. But if they want you to stand there and spray yourself in the face with a hose for a while...
Daddy, you didn't let me have dessert for breakfast. Be in the road.
Yeah, that would be bad. Now we're moving on to our section, Cats and Dogs, where we talk about what was the best and what was the worst, because normally... cats are the best and dogs are the worst, but this is Australia where everything is backwards. So dogs are the best and cats are the worst. My dog for this episode is Bingo being adorable. What's your dog?
The mom.
Chilli?
Yeah.
Chilli just being Dog Marge.
Yeah.
9.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
And my cat is... I think they should have made that music in the background just a little quieter.
Yeah.
It got pretty loud.
That was also mine.
Okay, cool. So Long Dog is the section of the episode where we talk about Easter eggs, and the Long Dog is a visually recurring Easter egg that appears in every episode of Bluey. So this is Long Dog.
Oh, so he's like a little wiener dog.
It's a little wiener dog that is in every episode. I'm assuming the answer is no, but did you see Long Dog in this episode?
I did not see Long Dog.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you where Long Dog was in this episode, but in all of our future episodes,
I need to find Long Dog.
You need to find Long Dog.
Okay.
Okay, in Magic Xylophone, it's in the first open view of the playroom. You know, we're a professional Bluey podcast now. We are going to use this show to find all the Long Dogs. And it might be a long process that will make us dog tired, but this is what we have to do now because horror is dead and only Bluey can make us happy.
I will now.
There he is.
You're right there. We found Long Dog. Yay, we did it. Only like 200 more episodes to go. Small other Easter eggs. The song that's played throughout the entire episode is Rondo alla Turca by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And the magic xylophone in the episode is actually not a xylophone because its bars are made of metal, not wood. So xylophones have wooden bars. This one has metal, so it is technically a glockenspiel. But the magic glockenspiel, it doesn't really have the same ring to it.
Ring, because it...
Ring. Homework. What would your dog name be? Who's your Bluey fursona?
I don't know.
Okay, so your homework for episode 2 is to come back with your Bluey fursona. But just imagine that's who you are. You're also a kid in the healer house.
I'm a Dalmatian, and...
No, you're one of their kids. You got to be a healer.
And they try to figure out if I'm adopted or the mom cheated.
Oh, okay, all right. So how would you torture Bandit with the magic glockenspiel?
I would paint Dalmatian spots on them.
Okay.
That way I don't feel like I'm adopted.
I would wait until he comes home from work and is really hungry, and he sits down in front of his dinner plate and ding, freeze him in front of his dinner while everybody else eats.
I like your answer, Pat.
Yeah. Okay, so upcoming on the Hounds of Babylon, the Bluey Cast. This Sunday we're reviewing Season 1, Episode 2, Hospital, where Bingo and Bluey perform surgery to get a cat out of the Bandit's tummy. And then next week we'll be reviewing Episode 3, Keepy Uppy, and Episode 4, Daddy Robot. And we don't have to thank our patrons because we don't have any. But if you would like to support the Hounds of Babylon, the Bluey Cast, please go to patreon.com/the Hounds of Babylon, the Bluey Cast, and subscribe to one of our many tier levels. I recommend the Muffin being crazy for 5 minutes, $5 tier. That is probably the best value, as Muffin is the best character, so I highly recommend that. Daniel, thank you for watching the magic xylophone, or I'm sorry, the magic glockenspiel with me.
I learned valuable lessons.
You did, that's good. And I hope you passed those lessons on. As Yoda said, pass on what you have learned. Stay tuned for our
Bluey?
More Bluey, because we don't have any socials anymore because kids can't have socials. So we're also quitting social media. Unless they come out with a social media site for pre-K kids, then we'll do that.
We could do it for their parents.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. And we're also hoping to get a sponsorship from ABC Mouse. So ABC Mouse, if you're listening, you could sponsor our show and get some advertisement. Check that out. All right. Thank you for watching with me. And we can't say stay scared anymore.
Because horror is dead.
Horror is dead. What are we going to say?
Does the show have a tagline?
I don't think so.
Or a catchphrase?
I mean, there's lots of different... I think for real life?
For real life. We'll see you next time for real life.
For real life?
Yeah.
And now for the obligatory socials. Please like, share, and subscribe. You can find the podcast on Twitter at HorrorPod69. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Slasher, and Goodreads. Become part of the Disturbed community by asking for the Facebook group and Discord links. Send dick pics to the Horror of Babylon podcast at gmail.com. Support the show at patreon.com/the Horror of Babylon. In closing, you can let your friends know that the Horror of Babylon is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, and all other major podcast apps. Stay scary.
The Hounds of blah blah.
Oh, biscuits. Oh, biscuits.
Biscuit.